All right, so with this particular job, I'm not gonna lie. This job I'm about to talk about, this probably was the most laid back job I ever had. Like throughout my whole time working. Maybe second, but it's definitely one of the most laid back jobs. And the whole time I was there, I just knew it wouldn't last forever, man. It was just too laid back. It was going too sweet for a while. So I'll break it down. So basically, this was a plant factory. Pretty much, they make soil, fertilizers, or whatever, different types of it, and they dump it out in big old trucks or whatever. So you got the warehouse part of the manufacturing factory. That's where the production workers, they do all the hard, heavy stuff, lifting up heavy bags, um, all that stuff. They getting real dirty because you're working with literally dirt. The bathrooms will be dirty. It was, oh man, you can just imagine like a place that's built around dealing with dirt. You can imagine what the bathrooms and the break room look like. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I was sent to this job as a maintenance assistant. I knew nothing about maintenance. But like, okay, but it can't be that bad, you know what I'm saying? And all maintenance was, even though I wasn't the main maintenance guy, I was pretty much like a maintenance assistant, or I guess you call it apprentice, if that's the correct term. So I got there my first day. It was an older white guy. I learned his name was Joe. Joe kind of like walked. His back was kind of like a little bit crooked. It wasn't too crooked. Like he was kind of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but it wasn't too bad. And Joe was a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? He was like a player in his younger days. He used to always talk about it. He get a lot of women and stuff like that. So just to paint a picture, what kind of dude Joe was. He was just older in age now. He used to crack jokes a lot. And he ain't gonna lie, Joe used to, put me on game about a lot of stuff, man. He was very wise. Uh, he'd tell me about different things on even like on how to manage my money and stuff like that. And yeah, we just get random conversations and stuff like that. So like I said, you had the main production part of the place, and then you had the outside part. The people that was inside, they did all the heavy stuff or whatever. And I'm glad I didn't get sent to the job to do that part. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? Where I was at, it was chill, just maintenance assistance. All I would do basically when I first got there, I'm like, look, man, I don't know nothing about maintenance. Man, Joe was like, it's all right. You just gonna chill with me. So my first day, I just sat there. I ain't do nothing dang there. Like for the first couple hours, I just sat there because the maintenance, they got their own shed or whatever, you know. So you got the warehouse, right? You got the warehouse production area. Outside, you got to where the trucks come through and all that. You got the people that be outside on the little forklifts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then a little further, you got the shed. And that's where the maintenance and all that stuff is, the tools, and they do some of the welding in there. And so me and Joe were just kicking in inside the shed, man, just sitting there. A lot of times I'll be sitting in silence. When I first got on the job, I didn't want to pull out my phone a lot. That's what I do typically on a lot of jobs. I wait till I get comfortable and see what kind of environment it is. But I'll just be sitting there, you know what I'm saying? But I'll be sitting out the way so the other workers wouldn't see me chilling. Even though I was good with Joe, I'm with the maintenance. I just didn't want the other workers to see me just sitting there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I mean, all I had to do was go around the place, sweep up outside or whatever like that. Use the air blower. Because a lot of fertilizers and stuff, soils being blown all over the place. I learned how to use the I forget what you call it. You sit on it and it drives around, and like it's like a brusher, like it some of y'all get in the comments probably can tell me what it is. It's like a blue machine. You sit on it and it drives kind of slow. You can turn it up a little bit the speed, but it don't go too fast. And it sucks, it pretty much vacuums up the stuff or whatever. I learned how to drive that during my time there. Now, when I first got there, which is me and Joe, right? I was the only maintenance assistant for like the first couple weeks. This like around November, 2022, yeah. And so after a while, then this other guy came in. Now, before this other guy came in, I had learned the ropes by now as far as how lenient it was, how I could move, how I could duck off, out of sight, out of mind, nigga. Like I was, I'm the master of that. I'm Houdini on a job site. If you give me just a little room to work with, give me a little time, I ain't gonna lie. You ain't gonna find me. So, yeah, I had to do the little cleaning stuff, But then we had to do stuff actually inside the warehouse too. But you got the warehouse, then you got like the upper stairs. The production workers inside, they never went to the places that the maintenance crew went to. So we had to go like, it's another side, kind of off to the side of the warehouse, but you can go up the stairs or whatever. And that's where all the machines that they work with, we have, eventually we learned how to go inside the machines, and that's when you really had to get down and get dirty. At the beginning, it was just simple cleaning stuff, and after a while, it was real maintenance stuff. Like I said, we was maintenance assistants. We was there to help out with Joe. Joe was getting older, whatever. He still could do things. He was still teaching us things, but he needed some young guys to help or whatever. And he was just working with whoever the staffing agency sent out there at the time. So and like I said, I ain't had no maintenance experience before that, but I'm glad I was sent out there to get just a little hands-on experience with some of the tools and stuff. Like we'd have to open up the machines, use like this chisel tool, and you had to plug it in. It was loud. You had to like chisel that shit, because after a while, throughout the day, well, because you're working with solar and stuff, so it would pile up inside the machines, and that was our job. We'd have to go in and kind of clear up some of that buildup or whatever. And yeah, so my schedule was from 11 a.m., which is pretty dope, man. You ain't got to wake up early. 11 a.m. to like 8 p.m. And then the rest of the warehouse, they'll get off around like 4 o'clock, 4 to 5. So we got down to like 3-4 hours to chill. Or, we do our work once they leave. We there while they there still, but then they leave and we still there type shit. So I get there at 11 a.m. The rest of the warehouse or whatever, they got there around like 6, 7, something like that. So like I was about to say, so I was there by myself for a while, and then this other guy came in named Daryl. Now Daryl was tall. Well, he looked tall, but he wasn't really that tall. He was real slender and skinny. You know what I'm saying? He had the makeup of a tall person, but I really wasn't that shorter than him. And he had dreads, and he talked. He was from Louisiana, but he talked like a, hey man, what we gotta do, man? Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I get tired of slaving for these jobs, man. My last job fucked me over, man. Like, that's how he used to talk. And like I said, he was from Louisiana or whatever. And, he was whatever, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, like, because I ain't gonna lie. When he first got on, I was like, damn. Like, he might blow my cover. Because at first I was, used to the hiding spots or whatever. I'm talking about, like, the part where we go upstairs. I go to the very top floor, or the second from the last top, from second to the top floor. And I would just sit there all day. Literally, I would sit there and do nothing all day. And I would just be on my phone and stuff like that. It was good internet connection. Sometimes I hit up Killer Rolex for those who know Killer Rolex. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was sweet, man. I was just chilling. But then I had to wear like stuff to cover my face, glasses, because no matter where you at in this plant, if you buy the warehouse, it's dust and all that blowing in the air. That's the only thing I didn't like about it, for real. Well, that's one of the only things I didn't like about it. All that stuff getting inside your nostrils, you breathing that stuff in. So a lot of times you had to wear all this stuff, and I had to wear long sleeve jackets. So a lot of stuff won't get on my arms and all that. So it was a real dirty job. You don't get down and dirty, like literally, like you working with dirt and soil and all that stuff. So this company made pretty good money, man. They sold stuff to golf courses and all kind of stuff. So when Daryl got there, this other guy that was sent out there, I kind of showed, I was like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, we can go up here, this and that. He followed me up the stairs, and then he took his spot from the second to the top floor. That was his spot to chill now. That's why I used to chill before he came. Then I just went to the very, very top floor. And I ain't mind it, man. It was sweet. Where I was sitting at, I could just be like, I could look down all the way at the bottom, and I could see if somebody coming. Very seldom, very rare did the big bosses, because we didn't have to deal with the big bosses that was actually part of the warehouse. They dealt with most of the production workers. They stayed in their area. But every now and then, they would come over, like, to our area, the maintenance side. And a few times, man, I never got caught directly. I was always sharp or whatever. You see them, because I'm looking down, I can see them before they see me. So you got to put yourself in position like that. And Daryl, he was pretty good, with, what I'm saying, being slick too after a while. I was worried, like, man, you know what I'm saying? But he knew what it was, man. He knew the motto, out of sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying? So every day we go to work. We go to work. This is how it is. 11 o'clock, we go to work. Walk up to the office. You got to sign in first. Old lady, Miss Val, inside the office. Real sweet old lady. Real nice. White lady. Hey, how you doing? Okay. You know, all right, good morning, Miss Val. And then, I walk out like I'm in business, like I'm about to be busy. This is what you got to do. And then I wouldn't go straight to sitting down. I didn't do that until I got real comfortable with the job, until some months went by. In the beginning, like, I just like take the first 30 minutes, an hour or something like that, maybe hour, 30 minutes to, clean up, look busy, let my face be shown. You know what I'm saying? I walk around to pretty much where everybody kind of saw me and stuff like that. Of course, I go say hey to Joe. Now, Joe kind of knew what we was doing. He didn't care. He was just like, whenever I need you, whatever, boom, 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 I'll come get you. But I still didn't want Joe to see me just sitting around, even though he kind of knew we were just chilling. Because there wasn't really much to do after we just do our part. A lot of the work that we had to do, we had to wait until the rest of the warehouse left. Like I said, they left around 5 p.m., 4 p.m., something like that. Because we had to get inside the machines and all that stuff. And that's where the hard, dirty work came in, working with the tools. But during the day, while everybody was there, it was just like, there wasn't really much to do for real. Now, some of the characters at the place, I remember somebody named Derek. I don't know, he was like one of the team leads or whatever. White dude, kind of like redneck. He was cool for the most part. You know what I'm saying? He used to chew a lot of dip. It was a couple people out there that chewed dip, man. He had a big old beard. I think I don't know if he got into a car accident. I never knew what happened with him. Never wanted to ask. But because he's like talk like, the machine's messing up. You can sit down if you want. He literally talked like that. I figured like something happened to him. I don't think he was always like that. He had a baby mom. I think he even had kids. Yeah, I seen his phone. He showed me his daughters one time. So you know what I'm saying. But he used to spit his dip, and it would get in his beard. I used to just hate that shit. For those who know what chewing tobacco and dip is, that shit used to be so nasty, man. I ain't gonna lie. But Derek was one of the characters. It was somebody else. A couple black dudes that worked outside with the trucks or whatever. Like the uncles at the barbecue type of black dudes. They was cool. Sometimes they'll look out for you. It was a couple of times they let me know somebody was coming. Hey man, boss man coming. You know what I'm saying? Cause they would chill whenever they had downtime. They would chill too. They would just sit down at a particular spot and chill too. But where we was at, the maintenance crew, it was like we were just really isolated for real. We go up them stairs, it's just us up there all day. And Joe back down at the shed. And every now and then Joe come look for us. Say he might need help for something, need help with something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that was cool, man. So for the most part, everything was sweet. For the longest, man. And at one point, I got so comfortable. Me and Daryl would get to work. We would shoot straight up there. We just give each other that look, like, you know what I'm saying? We'll walk to the shed first. Like I said, make our face seen. I was like, yeah, I would even be like, yeah, man. Like, yeah, let's show our face. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know what? You smart. Like he used to talk like, you smart, and and then we would just shoot right up the stairs, man. Just sit there and chill and don't do nothing. I'm talking about, I swear to God, bro, we could sit there damn near the whole day. You know what I'm saying? And of course we kept like a broom or something nearby, like a duster or whatever, anything that we could use just in case somebody pop up or they coming up the stairs. We could just grab something real quick. Y'all know how I go, man. And it just because there was so much dirt. There's always something you could do. Just get to acting like you brushing or sweeping something up. We have to sweep it in buckets. Then we can carry the buckets downstairs and then walk all the way to the dumpster or whatever it was. The dirt pile up and throw it in there. So it was always a way to look busy. But in the meantime, we just chilling, man. We ain't about to break our back and none of that. We did that for like damn 4 or 5 months, man. Like I said, he started like a couple weeks after I did. Right before Thanksgiving. But yeah, that was that, man. And then break time. Oh my God, lunch break. We had an hour lunch break. Not many jobs give you an hour lunch break. They typically give you that cliche microwave 30-minute ass bite-sized lunch break. But yeah, that hour lunch break was sweet, man. I ain't gonna lie. That hour lunch break was sweet. I walked in my car, and usually I think Daryl would go to the break before I did, or I would go to the break before he did. I forget what it was. Like he would go, and then I'll give it like maybe 20, 30 minutes. So sometimes maybe an hour would depend on how I'm feeling that day, and then I'll go to my break. But we never just walked the break together. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a couple times we did. but we just wanted to, you know what I'm saying, move a certain way, you know. And let's say I might go to break around 2. He might have went to break around 1 o'clock, so he get back around 2 something, and we'll go over our break. So this is why I brought up the lunch break. Lunch break an hour, but I'm talking about I got to testing it after a while because the job was so comfortable. I'm like, man, let me test out the lunch breaks because we have to clock out to sign out for lunch breaks. In the beginning we did because I was being the goody tissues in the beginning, you know, trying to set a good impression. Just, you know, you don't know what you could work with. But after a while, I'm like, man, I ain't gotta go signing nothing. Nobody said nothing like that. I ain't have to go to the office with Miss Val, the old lady, and I'm going on my lunch break. She said, okay. She didn't care. She's like, you know what I'm saying? So I just walked right past the office. You know what I'm saying? We got comfortable with it after a while. I just thought I'll walk right past that office like it ain't there. And nobody ever really said nothing. Nobody really paid attention. Unless I just got lucky all them times. But with this job, because we was maintenance crew, we aside from everybody else, nobody really know, as long as if they just sitting there watching you like a hawk and watching it, then they might can catch you. But if they just doing their own thing, going by their day, they're not gonna know exactly when you went to break. Even though the parking lot was kind of like the where you could just look out and see if somebody walking towards a parking lot. But you know what I'm saying? People doing things, they're busy. So if they ain't like watching your every move and sitting there like a no life having ass motherfucker and just trying to wait to see when you get back, then they might catch you. But if they ain't doing that, I'm talking about, bro, we go to break, and bro, I'm talking about the longest break I took one time was like 4 hours. 4 hours, bro. I kid you not. 4 hours, bro. Now that wasn't all the time. I tested it out one time. I'm talking about I went to Ross. I went to a store down there across the other side of town on my lunch break one time. Just chilling. I'm supposed to be, quote, back at work, which nobody really cared for real. But I ain't gonna say nobody cared, but like I said, nobody would know for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm inside the store. I'm inside the store looking for clothes, man. One time I went around, this was lake in the area. I went around the lake, walked like 2 laps around the lake. That took about an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? Just out there, with my headphones on, listening. I'm just, I swear to God, bro. Now, Daryl, I don't think Daryl, the dude that was working with me, I don't think he was moving that reckless. But he would take long breaks too. And we would just be joking about it like, hey, man. He said, man, I ain't gonna kid you, man. I went in my car and I put my seat back and took a nap. Man, I was going about 2 hours, man. And I was like, hey, it be like that, man. Shit, I be taking my time too. Now, I never really told him exactly what I be doing. Because, like, you know, you just know. I even though I knew him by now, I knew he wasn't, you know, he wasn't no snitching or like that. I just didn't feel comfortable telling him everything. But he knew that I would come back from break late. He's like, man, I ain't cool. Yeah, because I didn't know this, man. You was going for a good time, man. But, you know, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good, man. But in my head, I always knew, like, it's just too good to be true. Like, this can't last forever. And then technically, we was through the temp, so we was supposed to get hired after, like, 5 months. Around 5 months, when 5 months came around, one of the black dudes, he looked kind of like Mr. Potato Head. Kind of like a little bit Steve Harvey, a little bit. But, he was cool, though. You know, he was cool. You know, he's funny and stuff. We talk every now and then. But, he probably like 5'9" or whatever. But he was like, hey, man, ain't gonna lie to you, man. They would have hired you by now, man. You might as well just start looking for something else. You know what I'm saying? He said, you can keep coming to work, man, but I'm telling you, man, they probably would have hired you by now. And I'm thinking, like, they probably don't need all of us for maintenance, because it was barely anything for us to do. Now, what we did was important. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I'll elaborate more what we had to do. Like, we had to open up the machines. Once everybody going right, it's just me, Joe, and Daryl. Open up the machines or whatever. We up there. We have to start at the first floor, do all the sweeping and stuff, put in the dumpster. I learned how to use a forklift at this place. Joe just said, hop on the forklift. I said, I ain't never learned how to use a forklift. Hop on it. He's like, you know, cool white guy. Come on, man, hop on it, man. How you gonna learn if you don't hop on it? Like, I ain't need to do no precise by the book training, none of that. Old school training style. Hop on it. There you go. Hit the gas pedal, turn the key, this, that. You know what I'm saying? So I learned how to use a forklift at this place. I learned how to use a couple different things, man. Like I said, I learned how to use different tools and stuff like that. And he would name his tools, Big Bertha and stuff like Little Bertha. And you got Big Bertha? But yeah, it's like, it's a black thing. You know, stuff we use to chisel in the machines. So we start off on the first floor, second floor, third floor. And I think it was 4 floors. And them floors, man, if you ain't got no good cardio, oh yeah, even if you in shape, it's gonna be a workout. And you carrying them tools up there and stuff like that. All right, next flow, boom, boom, next flow. Now every day we didn't have to do that. This one every day we do go into the machines. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple days we didn't do nothing at all. Joe would just sit in the shed. He was cool, man. He would just sit in the shed and just do nothing. And it would be Joe and Daryl. You know what I'm saying? They got a good rapport after a while. And it would just be them. Because, you know, my introvert ass, I'd be just off myself, just, you know what I'm saying? Doing my thing just on my phone. But I could be to where I could look out and see out in the shed area. The shed is like, you know, got a garage, but the garage is always lifted up. And Joe and Daryl probably just be, you know, Joe peeling the orange and they be cracking jokes and stuff. They, you know, Joe used to make a lot of sexual jokes. You know, he one of them people, oh, she had big titties and this and that. Man, I used to work in the airport and some of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but he was, you know, he was cool though. Yeah, that was that, man. That was that. And one time I got caught sleeping at the job. The only time I got caught. Out of all the stuff I did at that job, I got caught sleeping at the job by one of the bosses. Now, one of the big boss Dave. Now, the big boss Dave was an asshole. We try to stay away from Dave. And you know what I'm saying? Very mean. Sometimes they don't say hey to you when you walk past them, which I didn't really try to avoid it anyway. I didn't expect him to say anything, but you just noticed that sometimes he had that mean look on his face a lot of the times. And he was very hard on it. He was very hard on his production workers. Now, I remember one time Daryl said something made me kind of like, ugh. But he was like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Dave's a fucking asshole. He said, if he was to come into a restaurant that I was working at, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd probably spit in his food, man. Like, he was one of them people, like, he was very grimy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't do nothing like that. But he told me, he looked me dead in my eyes and told me he was spitting Dave's food, man. That's how he said, Dave's an asshole, man. But it was a person under Dave. I forget the dude's name. It was a bald white guy. He caught me sleeping one time inside the forklift that was parked in the garage. Because the shed got two rooms. It got the main part, the big room, then the room over is like a smaller area. Kind of big, but a small. It could fit a forklift in the. It wasn't a forklift, it was a bulldozer, whatever you call it. And it would just be sitting there dormant. So sometimes, you know, for a while, I would just go in there and lay down, man, because I thought it was around the time everybody was supposed to go home and stuff. So I thought the big bosses was going to be home by now. I remember I just kind of just sat there, just dozed off or whatever. And, yeah, man, it's kind of like when I play things, you can sit inside, nobody know you there. And, I just remember somebody like woke me up. It was that bald dude. I thought he was going to tell me to go home, but he just, hey, man, can't be sleeping, man. You know, he's very serious or whatever, but that was that. He never spoke on it after that. It is what it was. But I made sure after that to make sure I don't never get caught. Which I did a good job at doing that for the longest. It was just I got caught slipping that one time. But this job, I'm talking about, I did live streams at this job. I would be so dumb. Like I said, I wasn't always around Daryl. Sometimes Daryl be up there in the stairs. I'll be up there in my flow. But sometimes, like this place, you got the main part, and then you got an open field, and then the fence or whatever. Sometimes I'll just walk out there, act like I'm picking up trash. Then I go up to the very front of the place. There's big old trees. I just find a little spot. I got my little bucket that I'll disguise as like, oh, I'm using it to pick up trash. And I'll just sit it to where I can, you know, so I can sit on the bottom of the bucket. Have the bottom of the bucket facing up so I can have a place to sit down. And I never got caught, man. I'd be sitting out there. Traffic passing by outside the fence area of the job. You know, it's by a busy road. And I'd be sitting out there just chilling, man. Like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And then when I'm about to head back, show my face again, I'll just get up, pick up a couple trash, act like I'm doing something. You know, I just knew how to move at this job, man. I knew how to move. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta know how to move out of sight, out of mind. Always look busy if there's somebody around. It wasn't hard, man. And yeah, man, it was cool, man. And we clock out of work. It'll be nighttime. Like I said, we get off around 8 p.m. Sometimes, a lot of times, we start getting off early, like 7:30. You know, so our checks would get a little smaller and stuff. But, you know, it was cool, man. So it'd be me, Daryl, and Joe walking together to the parking lot. Our car is the last ones in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? It would be nighttime. Joe taught me how to change my front headlight. The front headlight was like, you know, he's one of them older guys, man. But he was still kind of hip. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like no old guy, but he was, you know, he's older, but he was hip. You know, he taught me how to change the front headlight, and I still know how to do it to this day. You know, I used to just take it to the car place or AutoZone or something, have them do it. But, you know, it's, hey, man, you don't got to pay for that, this, that. You know what I'm saying? He showed me how to do it. He said whenever you turn your blinker on and it goes and it's blinking fast, that means something wrong with your car. You know what I'm saying? Because it's blinking faster than normal. Because I didn't know stuff like that. You know, he told me different stuff, man. How to maintain the tires and stuff like that. And yeah, man, like I said, sometimes they'll sit around and joke about different things, which I didn't really want to be a part of certain conversations they had. So I kind of detached myself or whatever. And yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, at the end, I eventually end up being let go. I just got a message from the staffing agency, or they called me saying, you know, they wouldn't need me out there no more, whatever. I just think they didn't want to hire us, which I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it was too good to be true, man. I mean, it was just too good to be true. But we had the safety training, all that stuff, man. And I think they let me go first because Daryl hit me up. He had my phone number by this time because he had asked for it or whatever. Because like I said, just in case, let's say he on his lunch break and somebody looking for him, you know, hey man, text me, man, just in case somebody looking for me, man. I gotta run across town, do this and that, man. I might be gone for a while. So, you know, sometimes like, hey man, Joe looking for you, man, this and that. You know. But anyway, so that's how we end up exchanging numbers. But so when I got let go from the job, Daryl hit me up probably like a day later or whatever, like, man, you good, man? You good, man? He was kind of laughing, but he's like, man, you was doing good, man. Boom, boom. Like I was like, out of me and Daryl, I was the one that do the most work. I'll be the ones that go on the machine, do most of the dirty work and all that stuff. Daryl, I ain't gonna lie, Daryl used to piss me off a couple times because he the type, he just too laid back. Like he ain't trying to do nothing at all. Like it's only 3 of us in his maintenance crew. Like if you want to be lazy and don't do nothing, I can understand it. But it's like when it fall back on me, then I might start to give you a side eye. Like, all right, damn, like all that shit falling on me now. But I used to be a little pissed off. But yeah, man, I learned how to use the pressure washer at this job. All different kind of stuff, man. Like I said, I learned how to use the forklift. I have to use it, and I knew how to take off the screen off this machine, and the thing was heavy, and it was different things. It'll be a long time, a long explanation on how all this stuff worked. But anyways, I learned a lot of this job, hands-on stuff, like manly type stuff. So like I said, I got let go from the job. I think they all eventually got let go. I think after a while I got another job right there in the area. And I remember I rolled by the maintenance, you know, the place, the fertilizer plant. And I never seen Daryl car. I knew what Daryl car looked like. And I knew their car was supposed to be out there at a particular time or whatever. But I knew it was only a matter of time. They weren't going to hire us, man. They just let me go first. And I knew they was going to eventually let Daryl go. But I didn't even see Joe truck. Joe drove like a rundown little pickup white truck. I didn't even see his truck out there. It might have been a blue truck, but I'm like, I think, yeah, like a month later, I never seen their cars. I don't know if they had a different schedule, but that was weird, man. And there was rumors that they was gonna let Joe go or whatever. And Joe, you know, Joe was retired pretty much. You know what I'm saying? He did make pretty good money doing that job, but he's pretty much retired, man. You know, he'd probably be okay. But yeah, man, so that's the story, man. That's the story of that job out there. It was pretty sweet, man. The main thing was out of sight, out of mind. I'm talking about, man, if you know how to move, if you know how to maneuver your way around this place, it was sweet, man. It was sweet. It was different characters out there. Some I can't remember, man. I wish I can go down and explain some more of some of the people that worked there. But I mean, it was one girl that worked there, but she wasn't like nothing like stunning, nothing like that. She wasn't nothing stunning or nothing like that. But she was cool. Me and her got in a couple conversations. You know, short, chubby or whatever. I think she was like Hispanic, Latina, had a big ass nose and shit. But she was cool though. And I want to say did she get fired? But it was a couple people that ended up getting fired, man. That was there before I got there. That actually worked for the actual place. People will come and go, man. They didn't play over there. Like Dave, that big boss I talked about earlier, like that's an asshole. Like he didn't play. You fuck up a couple times, he gonna let your ass go. You know. Yeah, man. So that's what it was with that job. And then you always had an air blower whenever you get done with your job, you about to go home. Like I said, it's a dirty job. I'm talking about every day. You guaranteed to have dust, dirt all over yourself. You just get that air blower. You know what I'm saying? You wear your little boots and shit. Them motherfuckers dirty. I go down to the dollar store right down the road. Sometimes after work, walking around, looking dirty and shit. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. But yeah, your car get dirty. I put my steel toe boots in the trunk. You know, before I get in the car, I have to bring slides to work. I feel like I'm missing some cool stories within that time frame. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, man, because I gotta go back into work. And yeah, man. So that's my story as far as that job. That was 2022 until like early 2023. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I'm out.